Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to All Hands on Deck. I am your host, Reverend Ira J. Ackery. We're here every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. We're here every Tuesday at 4:30 p.m. We are always here on Tuesdays talking about the various issues we face here in Chicago and sometimes across the nation. Listen, these are some perilous times. We must stay focused and we must keep the faith. Listen, we here representing GSJ Family Life Center, of which I am CEO. That's the same housing facility that our church is at. That's at 1256 North Waller Avenue, Chicago, Illinois. You can reach me at any time at 773-378-3300. Let me just throw a few things out there for us to talk about. Number one, I just left a press conference on the west side of Chicago that was called by Commissioner Richard Boykin from the first district. And Reverend Jesse Jackson was there, national iconic leader, Alderman Emma Mitz, Alderman Chris Taliaferro, Reverend Marshall Hatch, the owner Charmaine Ricketts of Uncle Remus. I almost said another name. Charmaine would have killed me. She would have killed me. But Uncle Remus, the best chicken in Chicago. And yeah, we had Reverend Woolridge, Reverend Marshall Hatch, and other leaders. They were there. We were talking about how to fight back. We must fight back. There is so much social despair that we are facing in our city. And we need to know how to respond to the social despair in our community. The urban communities in Chicago look pretty horrific. I mean, you're dealing with poverty, poor education, homelessness, and hopelessness. That's what we're dealing with. And people want to know why there's so much violence taking place. Because when you combine all of those entities, it's the perfect recipe for a violent storm that we now have in Chicago. 2016, we had nearly 800 murders, and 100 of them were in the Austin community. So listen. Let me set the foundation. Let me lay some groundwork. Chicago, let's put it in context. Chicago had more murders than any city in America. More murders than Los Angeles and New York, which are largest cities, put together. That is terrible. That is terrible. And we've got to do something about it. And when you see something like this taking place, we need every institution to put some sweat equity in the game. Recently, young man out of Ohio, a pastor, he requested that he be the emissary for President Donald Trump's administration, come here and meet with some local gang leaders. He said he received a call that they needed his help and they wanted Trump's help because they trust Trump. He later recanted the majority of those statements. And nevertheless, it was pretty interesting and pretty intriguing. And many people in the media asked me, what did I think about it? I said, well, obviously we need some help here. And I doubted very seriously if the pastor from Ohio could come here and shoot the proverbial silver bullet, uh, and the violence disappears. I mean, there's no way, and I'll say it. The gang structure is nowhere organized like it used to be. I mean, there was a Jeff Ford and a Larry Hoover who could shut stuff down, but they locked up our gang leaders. I'm calling them our gang leaders. Wow, you can tell I'm from the hood, right? And they displaced them rather, and gangs are all over the place. The infiltration of so many gangs. There have been splinters. There have been renegades who've broken off from the old gangs. And so, listen, let me tell you something. Ministers, people in power, political leaders have met with gang leaders, and we haven't been able to shut it down. They haven't been able to shut it down. You know why they can't shut it down? It's because there must be some economic investment. There are a lot of issues. Maybe you have something you want to throw on the table. But one thing we know, that gang leaders alone cannot shut down the violence and lower the body count. Okay? So we believe that a big key is tackling the poverty, the poor schools, the homelessness, and even segregation. It ain't legal, but segregation still goes on. Listen, you're welcome to call me. Give me some thoughts right now at 312-738-1060. 312-738-1060. Listen, I'm gonna go back to the board one more time. Call in right now if you want to make a comment. 312-738-1060. That's the office number. And then you can also call my office at the church at 773-378-3300. It's been very busy. We're so grateful to have with us our guest, Brother Marcel. Marcel, it's a blessing to have him here today. He's going to share his thoughts on what he's doing. He's going to share his thoughts on what he thinks can make a difference. He's going to share his thoughts on what's going on here in Chicago. All right? We're having a little technical difficulties. Just hang on in there with us for a minute. All right? There we go. Look who's in. Brother Marcel Action Jackson. Marcel, welcome to the show.
All right, thank you for having me, Reverend Ackery. Brings back great memories to be in studio with you today. I'm excited to be here.
You're looking mighty spiffy today.
Oh, thank you. I did this just because I knew I was coming on this soon-to-be nationally syndicated show, All Hands on Deck, with Reverend Ira Ackery. So I wanted to look my best.
You've been doing some great things. I met you a few years on another radio show, intellectual radio, back in the day when I'd have you on and we had trouble wrestling up 10 or 15 guests, right?
Yeah.
But you came on and you worked with us. But now you're here on television. Tell our viewers what you've been doing.
So we've just been, I say we because it's not just me, but we've been really working and galvanizing and organizing the community to make sure that we're getting the proper resources that our communities need. And I know the topic today is about social despair, but we really want to make sure that we connecting economic despair. And that ties into why we have so much social despair going on in our community. So we've got a lot going on the west side. One of the blocks in our community was just recently identified as the most violent block in the city of Chicago. So we're working on turning that block around and using it as a model to turn other blocks around in the community.
Well, guess what? It's no surprise that we have the most violent block in the city because the Austin neighborhood is the most violent community in Chicago, which also happens to be the most violent city in America. So we work, we live in a very challenging neighborhood, and many people um, don't want to admit that we fumble the ball, but every institution has fumbled the ball. Faith leaders, politicians, parents, school system, business leaders with their disinvestment. It's collaborative failure of multiple institutions. But we must do something, and we must do it right away because so many people are really hopeless. So many people are really hopeless. Tell you what we're doing right now. We are partnering uh, every Wednesday with the Chicago Cook Workforce Development. This is something that I'm very excited to be a part of. Every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to noon, every Wednesday from 9 a.m. to noon, we have people there who are helping people get jobs, get training, to get some interview coaching, some resume preparation. This is the real deal. And those of you that are watching this show, I wish that you would share this information this Wednesday at Greater St. John at 1256 North Waller Avenue in the Austin community. Listen, you need to get there. This organization has given away more than, not given away, but has connected 72,000 people over a 20 plus year period with jobs. They exist for this purpose. Tomorrow, I'm going to come through there. Some of you, I've never met you. Some of you, I've seen you on Facebook, and some of you have watched this show. But come on tomorrow, and let me speak up for you. If I'm not there, tell them Ira J sent you. We got to get people working. We got to get people working. Why don't you talk about your organization?
So my organization is the Jackson Action Coalition. We started in 2009. We're a community organizing group where our mission is to bridge the gap and bring generations together by empowering community youth and seniors through outreach services and events. But one of the number one tasks that we've taken on, and I appreciate people like yourself, Reverend Ackery, and the other community leaders who are out here fighting for the community, for civil rights, social rights.
I love when you come on my show, then you give me a compliment.
Hey, listen.
I love it. When he come on my show, I saw him on television the other time. He was laying it on real heavy on some other people, how they made a great impact and turned them around. But when he come on my show, he give me some props. That's what I
listen. I like to pay. Listen, I got my start with Pastor Ackery on the show. He actually gave me my nickname, Action Jackson. For people who don't know, the first time he interviewed me, it was the What's Going On show on Intellectual Radio, and
that's right.
He gave me the nickname Action Jackson, and it has not. It has followed me everywhere I've been since I left there.
Yeah.
But one of the
some
things,
people don't even know your name.
Right? They don't know it. I get calls all the time. They're like, "Action, how you doing?" And I'm like, so it was surreal. But I always honor this guy next to me. I actually talked about you on a call before this. Shameless plug. I'll be interviewed on Fox News in the morning at 8:30 a.m. talking about some of the things that we're doing in the community. And we just really trying to get it on the minds of people that we fought for civil rights, and we must continue to fight for civil rights. We're fighting for social rights. We must continue to fight for, but we really need to push economic rights to the forefront of the fight, because in order to get change, you need power.
Absolutely.
And in order to get power, you need a little money. So what we're working on now, we partner with the Greater Garfield Park Community Development Corporation under the leadership of Geraldine Blair, partner with United for Better Living. We're now the block where they have identified as the most violent block in the city. We've actually galvanized and organized some investors, some local community members to bring their resources together to purchase property on this block so that we can move into this block and start to change the block around. So tomorrow morning we'll be talking more about that with Fox News. But we're really just trying to, with all this going on, we have a new president. We have elections coming up, and hopefully we'll see new elected officials in local politics. But we need to quit waiting on Superman to come and save our communities.
Sure.
And as community members, we need to step up and start to save it ourselves. So then when people come to try to help us, they're just helping us. They're not doing it on their own. We're taking the ownership of it.
Speaking of President Trump, how did you feel when he would say things like Chicago is when he takes pot shots at uh, Chicago and said you can't walk down the street without getting shot? How do you normally feel about it?
Well, I don't really feel too much any type of way.
It's true, right?
It's true. I mean, it's the
I mean,
you want people to tell the truth.
Yeah, my wife doesn't feel safe walking down the streets. I have members that won't come out at night. They won't come out at night. Seniors want to come to Bible class. They won't come out at night. Now, and I really resent when people get up in these press conferences. We're the murder capital of America, and we have these political leaders and bureaucrats who will get up and say, it's not like Afghanistan. It's not like a war zone. Are you kidding me? These numbers are worse. They are worse. And so if we're going to continue to be in denial, listen, it's going to get even worse. We're going to experience another bloodbath in 2017.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, let's face it. When people say Chicago is not a war zone, they are really letting you know what side of town they live on. I mean, because if you live in North Park, you're safe. If you live in North Lawndale, you're not. If you live in Lincoln Park, you're safe. If you live in Garfield Park, you're not. If you are residing in Edgewood up north, you're safe. But if you're in Inglewood up down south, you're in trouble.
Yep.
We got to turn it around, and we made a call. We put in a letter to the president today, and I'll share with you some of the things I said in my letter. In fact, I'll give you a copy of it because we want him to come, but don't send the guards. Don't send the National Guard. Don't send military warfare and things of that nature. We want you to send resources to help us with our schools, to help us with our jobs, to help us build our infrastructure. We got a call waiting on the line. Come on, caller. Welcome to the show. All hands on deck.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You know what? Great show. Please,
Can't hear him.
as people,
Can you speak up, sir?
Okay, I'm in Hispanic. Hear me now?
We got to go to another call. We can't hear him. You can call back, sir. We can't hear you. You want to comment on that?
You know what? With President Trump, and we just have to understand he is the president.
Absolutely.
He's the president. With him shining light on Chicago, for whatever reason he's doing it, it shines a light on what needs to happen. A mentor of mine told me when two men are fighting, the third man wins. So I read today that he's only shining the light to diminish President Barack Obama's legacy. So if he's to diminish the legacy, that means he's trying to come to make change. So if he's going to send some resources, I'm not opposed to any of it. I got a call yesterday from New Jersey because of what they're hearing on the news and because they know I'm here. Now they want to send resources.
Okay, excuse me. We got a caller. Caller, welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead. Real quick.
Okay. You know what? Great show. Thing is, when they start to assassinate our children, because of what we're following,
A little bit.
We can't hear him today. Until we fix that, we'll probably have to just continue.
Yeah, I couldn't really
Can't hear. Thank you all for being patient. So sorry.
One more.
We're gonna give it one more try. Go ahead, caller.
Hello. Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
So this is what I wanted. I read an article that said that Chicago is even close to being the gun violence murder capital of America. And there are a lot of other cities, while they haven't had many people killed numerically per capita, given how many people live in the city, they have more in terms of that way. So I want to know, if Chicago isn't really close to the murder capital, why you think our city is been kind of singled out for the very embarrassed and unflattering
Well, okay.
coverage?
You want to know? First of all, I can't hear you that well. But anyway, let me try to address part of the question I did here. You said why are we being singled out, uh, Chicago, when there are other towns that have more murders per capita? Well, Cleveland is one that has more murders per capita because it's a smaller city. But people are dying at a rapid rate, much more rapid rate. But nevertheless, here in Chicago, it's a larger city, and when you lead your country in homicides, it's going to be major news, and especially when you are you have more homicides than Los Angeles and New York combined. Combined. Come on, we got another caller. Technical difficulties. Caller, speak up.
Hi, my name is Tiffany Ott, and I'm calling in. I just wanted to give a comment.
Sure.
First up, I wanted to say that I appreciate what you both are doing, and Marcel Jackson personally, what in the neighborhoods on the west side of Chicago. And I just know if there were more like programs in place for the youth. I feel like we do a lot of complaining about politics, and what they're not doing for our neighborhoods. But I think it's very effective to have like yourself, Marcel, and other people that you work with out here and bringing the youth together so
Okay.
that we can start.
Thank you so much. Repeat the question.
So the caller, I believe Tiffany said that she said, are there going to be more programming for youth? And we can complain about the problem and about what politicians are not doing, but what are we doing to bring those type of programming and resources to keep our
Sure.
children alive? Yesterday, on Sunday, so we have a community center at 4540 West Washington, and we have a lot of programming. But what a lot of people don't know is for the past 2 years, we haven't had enough funding to sustain the organization. So at any day, at any moment, the organization would have been closed. But because of grassroots fundraising and the church stepping up to really support, we were able to keep it open. As far as myself, I was taught instead of talking about a problem, let's create a solution. So whenever I see a problem or a need that needs to be met, I try to solve the problem. So what we've done, we see a problem with youth and young kids not having anywhere to go or things to do. We partner with an organization, Annie's Little Angels Dance Company. Now we're offering dance classes in West Garfield Park for at-risk youth to come and learn ballet, hip hop, modern, and dance. And we have several other programs that are coming down the pipeline to really encourage the youth. And every summer I run one of the largest summer youth employment programs on the west side. So we have some resources that does need to be more.
Caller, real quick. You got 10 seconds. Welcome to the show.
Okay, yes. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. You know what? You know what's wrong? You know what's wrong with the city? We voted in the wrong people. Nothing's been changed in the last 25 years. It's only gotten worse. I'm not a Trump fan.
All right. Thank you. We kind of running out of time. The young man said, what's wrong in Chicago is we keep voting in the wrong people. Well, let me just tell you this. You make a valid point. But the truth of the matter is, it's so unfortunate in America and in Chicago particularly. Latinos can vote for Democrats and Republicans. Whites can vote for Republicans and Democrats. But the moment an African American votes for a Republican, unless he is rich, he's considered a sellout or a traitor. So we find ourselves in a precarious predicament. The Democrats, they take us for granted, and Republicans write us off. So we really got to do some inventory and some reevaluation of our political plight and our way of doing business. That's why I don't mind reaching across the aisle to Donald Trump. We want to let him know that hiring more police, stopping the proliferation of guns, and stiffer penalties for those illegally carrying guns will never solve or drastically diminish the problem of violence. We need economic investment in our schools, job creation, and in housing. Listen, we are out of time. We got to have you back
Oh,
because
yes,
we really
anytime.
didn't get to who you really are. They just got a glimpse of you. Tell them your website, and we got to say goodnight.
You could follow me on www.marceljackson.com.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you for watching the All Hands on Deck show. We really appreciate your love and your support, and we hope to see you next week. Thank you so much for watching.